MGMT 510 Group Assignment Apple Inc. Hi everyone, my name is Shilpa and today I, along with my team, are here to talk to you about our company of choice, Apple Inc. Apple was founded in April 1976 by Steve Jobs, Wozniak, and Ronald Wayne. It was incorporated a year later by Steve Jobs and Wozniak. It is headquartered in Cupertino, California. Apple is an American firm that designs, manufactures, and markets personal computers, consumer electronics, and various other software and peripheral worldwide. In 2007, the company launched the iPhone, which spearheaded a revolution in the mobile phone industry. And in 2018, it became the first US public company to be valued at 1 trillion US dollars. You can also see Apple's mission statement here, which clearly talks about the various products they're famous for and what they aim to do with those products. This chart quickly shows you the various products that Apple launched that led to its $1 trillion market cap. Firm's industry. Apple is actually in more than one primary industry. It is in the computer hardware, software, consumer electronics, and digital distribution industries, where the main focus is on technology and innovation. It was initially called Apple Computer Inc. By removing computer from its name, we can see that their focus shifted from just computers to more of consumer electronics and digital distribution. Overall, it is in a very unpredictable industry because there are many technological breakthroughs and there's a high emphasis on constantly innovating and introduce new products into the market. This leads to a small or a short product life cycle because there's always a better one coming up in less than 12 months. Overall, to survive in this industry, both strategy and research and development are very important.
This slide, we're going to talk about the current macroenvironmental factors affecting Apple, and the reason it's not divided into threats and opportunities is because we see each macroenvironmental factor being either one. So the first one we're going to look at is international markets and trade policies, especially the U.S. relationship with China. It's been on the news. And these new trade deals could have a great impact on Apple because a lot of the key pieces to produce the electronics come from China. So an increase in tariffs could potentially mean an increase in the price of the Apple products. So this is definitely something we want to keep an eye out for. The second one we want to look at is the growth of middle class in developing countries. This can be seen definitely as an opportunity because it means more people have a greater purchasing power, and phones and Apple is always a sign of status. So this is definitely a market that we want to start to target a little bit more. Thirdly is the use of technology in business. More and more big companies want to integrate technology into all of their presentations and processes. And the big thing with Apple is that once you enter the Apple world, you're more likely to stay because everything is compatible. You have the AirDrop, your phone synchronizes with your computer, with everything else. It could also be seen as a threat because once you have a PC, what does that mean in terms of purchasing an iPhone? Fourthly is fast fashion consumer mindset. So we define fast fashion as that trend that people are more likely to buy cheap products because they're disposable. So that can help us because we can target upgrades. So when people buy a phone, they don't wait 5 years to change it. They might wait 1 or 2 years. So that's a key opportunity. It could also be seen as a threat because people don't want to spend that much money on one single product. And finally, privacy and regulations. We definitely want to look at what happened with Facebook and Cambridge Analytica and what's happening with the Apple Store lawsuit. But all of these are just some of the key things we want to keep in mind as we move forward.
Hi class, my name is Victoria and now I'm going to talk about how it's possible for Apple to be very competitive in the market and what they do in order to have advantages out in the market. As we know, there are other huge companies that offer similar products as Apple, and one that is very well known is Samsung. So I want to mention four advantages that Apple has in order to be very competitive. The first one is brand strength, then we have innovation in products. Third one is a strong integrated supply chain, and finally premium pricing. So for the first one, I would like to say that Apple shows this strategy because they are always offering a great visibility in the marketplace, and this calls the consumer's attention in order to be loyal to the brand. Also, Apple is always maintaining the same software in all of the products. So this makes the consumers feel very comfortable with the brand because all the products as iPhone, Mac, and iPod are very user friendly and very attractive. The second one is innovation in products. And for this one, I like to say that Apple is always updating their products. They're always creating new features in their products. They are always updating their software. So they are always very innovating in the day to day. The third one is a strong integrated supply chain. And for this one, I like to say that Apple follows a strict software standard and controls all their manufacturing. And last but not least, I like to mention that the company aims to offer consumers a high quality product with unique features and uses higher prices to reinforce the perfections of their products. So these are the four strategies that make Apple very competitive out in the market.
Porter's five forces are threat of entry, bargaining power of buyers, threat of substitutes, bargaining power of suppliers, and they all have an impact on the industry rivalry. Apple Inc. is facing a very strong competitive rivalry, mainly because of the high aggressiveness of firms when it comes to innovation, marketing strategies, and imitation of products. Also, there are other products in the market that share the same features, such as the apps, cloud storage services, camera, and which makes it easy for customers to switch to other brands. Furthermore, Apple products are considered high-end products, so the cost of these products are higher compared to the rest of the products in the market. So many people can also switch to more affordable products. When it comes to the threat of new entry, there Apple has a moderate level there, since Apple Inc. is already a very large and profitable company, so it makes it harder for other companies to introduce themselves in the market. Also, the cost to produce the products like Apple's is very high. And companies already in the market, such as Samsung and Google, for example, have already introduced some similar products, which, yeah, it is a strong force when it comes to new entrants. Apple is facing a very weak bargaining power of suppliers because there are thousands of suppliers around the world. Therefore, it doesn't limit Apple's Inc.'s choice when deciding which supplier will help them. When it comes to the bargaining power of buyers, it is very strong because with so much variety of products offering the same service in the market and the availability of information about all different products, it makes it very easy for customers to switch from brand to brand and make their own decisions. When it comes to the threat of substitutes, Apple Inc. faces a very weak threat of substitutes because products such as iPhones, desktop computers, and tablets, for example, have all the features together, making it convenient to the customer. And Apple products are at the top of the line at the moment.
So, lastly, we're going to talk about the 5 recommendations that would help Apple to become more effective and profitable. The first one we want to talk about are affordable prices. Apple is always launching new products and coming up with great services. However, their prices seem to keep increasing, which makes it increasingly hard for people to be able to afford them. So if we could come up with new versions but with affordable prices, we think this would expand our market share. The second one is to create an online service for repairs. So as we all know, when you go to the Apple store, lines can be extremely long. So if we had an online service for repairs, we could avoid having so many people there. We could also have a pickup service. So if your iPhone is damaged, they come pick it up, you send it, and it comes back repaired. Thirdly, we would suggest to improve the battery life of devices because we know that when it's new, the battery is great, but as it has more use, the battery becomes weaker and weaker, which is one of the main complaints from Apple users. The fourth one is to have devices automatically synchronized to cars, offices, and homes. The reason we think this would be very successful is because people want to belong to the Apple world. So the easier we make it for them to synchronize all of their products, the happier they'll be. Finally, it's to improve Siri's AI. So right now, one of the major complaints is that Siri doesn't understand accents. So if we could teach Siri to learn as the user uses it, then it would be able to understand more words progressively and become more user-friendly.
Thank you.